You know that moment when someone cancels a plan, and instead of feeling disappointed, you almost feel a little relieved, as if your body were saying, "Thank you, I needed that." If this happens to you often, you may have wondered if you are weird, too closed off, or simply not made like everyone else. But in reality, liking staying at home does not necessarily mean you are running away from life. Sometimes, it simply means you know exactly where your energy comes back. For some people, going out, seeing people, talking, laughing, moving around recharges their batteries. For others, it is the opposite. Even when the evening is nice, even when the people are kind, something inside starts to empty. Not because you hate others, not because you are cold, but because every interaction requires attention. You have to listen, respond, adapt, read the atmosphere, manage the noise, the looks, the small invisible expectations. And by the end, you just want a place where there is nothing left to manage. And that place is often home. At home, you do not have to play a role. You can dim the lights, play whatever sound you want, eat whenever you want, and not answer anyone for a while. No one asks you to be funnier, more sociable, or more available. Your body quickly understands that there, it can release the pressure. And that release is not laziness. It is a form of recovery. We live in a time where everything pushes us to be visible. You have to go out, post, meet people, produce, reply quickly, have projects, and have a life that looks full. So, naturally, someone who enjoys quiet evenings can quickly seem like someone who is missing out. But maybe they are not the one missing out on life. Maybe they have simply stopped chasing a version of happiness that does not fit them. Because there is real richness in calm. When the world slows down, the mind can finally breathe. That is often when ideas arrive, when emotions settle, and when thoughts become clearer. Many people who enjoy staying home have a very active inner life. They think a lot, observe a lot, and feel a lot. They do not need a packed schedule to feel alive. Sometimes a quiet coffee, a familiar show, a book, a prayer, or a moment of silence is enough to restore balance. But we also have to be honest. Staying home can be peace, but sometimes it can become protection. And the difference matters. If you stay home because it feels good, because you feel calmer, clearer, and closer to yourself, then it is probably a healthy need. But if you stay home because the outside world scares you, because every invitation feels heavy, because you feel more and more cut off from others, then it may no longer be just rest. It may be a sign that something inside you is asking for attention, and there is no shame in that. Sometimes we isolate ourselves because we have given too much, absorbed too much, carried too much. We have gone through periods where we always had to pretend we were fine, always had to adapt, always had to be strong. So home becomes a refuge, a place where no one judges, where nothing overflows, where you can finally exist without effort. The danger is not loving that refuge. The danger is never leaving it again, even gently. Because home should be a base, not a prison. A place where you recharge, not a wall that stops you from living. You do not need to become extroverted, fill your calendar, or force yourself into evenings that drain you. But you can keep a small connection with the outside world. A quiet walk, a call with someone safe, a coffee with someone who does not drain you. Small, simple contacts, without pressure, that remind your body the world is not always a threat. Liking staying at home does not mean being antisocial. Often it means being selective. You do not necessarily want more people. You want better presences. You do not want noise to fill the emptiness. You want something real, calm, and sincere. So, no, you are not broken because you prefer a peaceful evening to a forced night out. You are not behind because your happiness does not look like everyone else's. Maybe you have simply understood something many people forget. Sometimes, real life begins when the noise stops and you finally come back to yourself. If this kind of reflection speaks to you, subscribe to explore even more of what hides behind our behaviors.